experience being with others. They are attracted to being that more and more and more. The beingness of that. Because that's what they be. And they're attracted when they see it being in others. So it is a permanent attraction. Because what you be, what you are being, is enduring. Do you understand what I'm saying? So your attraction to supreme beingness in and of itself will attract you to supreme beings. And it'll give you the ability to see the supremacy in them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Versus some type of business deals and contracts conning you off your track. Marriages, mirages. Do you see the one making illusions? But your own supreme beingness expanding into your connection with another and merging as one, giving birth to many. Whoa, I'm going heavy. And supreme beingness perpetuating itself. God, the supreme being, the supreme beingness perpetuating itself into the infinite future. Not just two idiots trying to relate. Two dummies trying to relate on something. Oh, you into that? Oh, I'm into that. Oh, you do that? No fundamental basis of supreme perception or knowing, you know what I'm saying? Just relating. I guess you got the same kind of pencil I got. I got the same kind of pencil you got. Let's get together and have a pencil party. That's stupid. But this happens all the time. This happens all the time. So we're getting people to get attracted to black supreme being and beingness. And living in that dimension. And that being a supreme being and supreme beingness is not relative. Do you understand the point I'm making? It's coexisting. It's interdependent. It's expansive. It's holographic. Do you see what I'm saying? It mirrors. It's simultaneous. Do you see what I'm saying? But it isn't relative. Because it is what it relates to and what it relates out of. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Because if you relate out of bullshit, that's what you get. If you relate out of black supremacy, that's what you get. Do you see what I'm saying? So it is what it relates to. So there is no relativity. Therefore, it is no relationship. Because it is the very thing that it even relates to in others. It is what is being. That's heavy. What cannot be will not be. It won't be. And what is supremely being is perpetual and enduring. And is obvious. Do you see what I'm saying? Not relative. Conditional. Appearing. Mirage. Illusion. But obvious. What be is obvious. So the whole concept of relationship, dead. Stop trying to relate. Supreme beingness. Do you see the one I'm making? Embody the consciousness of supreme beingness. And allow from that. You understand what I'm making? Supreme interfacing. You know what I'm saying? Supreme merging. Supreme expansion. That's heavy. That's peace. Because one is a struggle. If you just being at 11 years old, eventually you will be and be 17. There's no struggle, really. You see what I'm saying? It's a natural evolution, a natural process. So anyone within having a relationship struggle got to realize the problem is you're trying to relate and you don't. Because anybody that has to try to relate and try to have a relationship the reality is they really don't really relate. That's why they got to try to have one. And where you do truly relate, there's really no need for a relationship, because you already won. Do you see what I'm saying? You already merged. Time was the only separation between what had already merged. You know what I'm saying? In the infinite space interval. That's heavy. That's heavy. So this is one of supreme being. And consciousness has no gender, man nor woman. Consciousness doesn't have gender. I can sit and hold an image of a black God in my mind for hours. A woman can. There's nothing distinct aspects of consciousness, you know what I'm saying, that is man or woman. So there's no gender struggle or battle. I can meditate and see darkness, you meditate and see darkness. In consciousness, there's no gender. That's a fact. Gender is how we connect with the mirror of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Inverted. You know what I'm saying? In the physical universe. You know how you look in the mirror and it shows you an inverted image of yourself? Well, if you see words on it, it's backwards. As you merge with yourself in the physical universe under the auspices of a relationship, it's still you. You're just inverted. Ain't that heavy? That's heavy. That's heavy. And then it's a marriage, but yet it's a mirage because it's not other than you. Wow. Yet it appears to be other than you, so that you can experience the glory of yourself. You see what I'm saying? Other than you. External. You know what I'm saying? Expansive. But I'll do a lecture on that. I didn't want to go into that. Spend a whole time going in the lecture. But somebody asked why we don't put a lot of energy into relationships, because black supremacy is hard enough. And if you focus on that, I guarantee you 100.1% of all the problems in our community will be solved overnight with a sincere meditation on black supremacy. In our community, it's not going to solve the white boys' problems. It's not going to stop white people from jumping out of office buildings. It's not going to solve their problems. They might have more. They're definitely going to have more. But it will solve ours in every aspect of them. In every aspect of where we can have these problems, because we have to find right relationships because we don't know how to relate. Because our main position is hating one another. So it takes work to relate when you know you really hate somebody. But when you're coming from a position of love, it's not so much of a struggle to relate, because you don't have so many walls. You see what I'm saying? And barriers. But when you hate, there are walls and barriers there. So there's a struggle to relate, and you need relationship counselors, and you need a whole bunch of stuff, because the fundamental approach is wrong. One is to maintain a sense of self in relating to others. And the others is allowing yourself to merge with your higher expansive beingness. Do you see what I'm saying? Two different realities. One, the self is, must protect itself. It is invaded. The self that must fight for survival, for its sense of self. That's the struggle. Maintain a sense of self. But how do you maintain a sense of yourself in isolation from the other? With barriers and walls from the other. How do you maintain a sense of self? Because maintaining the sense of self is reproducing self and expanding one's understanding of self. That can only come from merging with another to realize a greater dimensions. You know what I'm saying? And greater aspects of self. But the way this society goes, is maintaining yourself and trying to know another as a self and fitting those two differences, different realities together. Wow, that's a lot of work. After 9 to 5, I see the problem. I see the struggle. After 9 to 5 in the mall and the dental appointments and all that, I see the struggle that we go through. But to see a higher sense of self in the connection with one's own destiny that is represented in others. Because your destiny is represented in other. If you can reproduce yourself through another, then you're not merging with another individual. Wow, you're merging with what? Your destiny. Your future is the reproduction of yourself. So how do you protect a sense of self that is limited and fictitious from merging with your own destiny as you know what I'm saying, reincarnated as your progeny, or the ideas that manifest as physical realities, which are children too, that interface based upon merging your consciousness with another. Do you see what I'm saying? Energy and ideas come from that manifest destiny. Do you understand what I'm making? Of how those energies embody. But they cannot body and interface with one another if we're coming like this. To, you know what I'm saying? With attachment to something small versus embracing something larger. You see what I'm saying? That's heavy. The larger you. What they call a relationship should be called the larger you. Not the better half, but the expanded you. Because there's no better half. You see what I'm saying? You better be whole, like I said. But it's an expansive you. Because now you can step outside your mind as another person and look at yourself and then put that shit together. Tweak it. You understand what I'm making? And then look what you created. Wow. That means you're not one-minded, one side track. Now you got a whole 360-degree perspective on every single, you know what I'm saying, move. That's heavy. And that's when it said, let us make man. What they said, was God one or many? To let us make man was a merged entity that was God one. Do you understand what I'm saying? But was God expansive? So if a man and woman get together and say, let us make man, still one God. Two becomes one, right? But it's an expansive one that's still one. That's heavy. But it can't, unless we're one in and of ourselves, we will never be one with another. You see what I'm saying? We'll never be. And when we have become completely one with and as ourselves, we'll realize that the other one is one of us. And not the other one. That's heavy. Because there are no other ones. It's really just one. So the illusion of the other fades. And they merge. Heavy. And then it's the Elohim, an angelic host. Because imagine if you saw an angelic host. It would be one, but yet you'd be a sense of one, but yet it would be a many, wouldn't it? But you still feel a one presence as an angelic host, right? But you still know that there's many of them, but it's just like a one presence. Heavy. And that's when you look in the holy tablets and you see all those angelic beings. It look like they all lined up together because it was like they're a host, but they're one. And you see all the elders with their beards and all their capes are almost just like all